우리는 바보처럼 몸으로 부딪히면서 배웠어. 넘어질 때마다 일어서 다시 고쳤었지. 이력서 눈부신 성공의 신바람. 잠시나마 불어봤던 휘파람. 한 곡도 퇴근하기 전에 그림자처럼 날 따라온 비바람. 시기 질투 기대 압박을 못 이긴 몇 번의 실축. 자만 나태함 속에 던졌던 말로 홈런.
It's the home of the Wizards here in Washington, D.C. as 2K Sports brings you today's action live from the Verizon Center. You're in for a treat as we bring you NBA basketball on...
Man, he slams it home and gets a little camera time on the backside of it.
He spent a while up there on the rim.
And I like the fact that the ref's going to give him a little bit of leeway there and a lot more than they used to.
And the highlight reel replay brought to you by Kia. Good stuff on that Kia Slam Cam. And LeBron throws it down.
Kevin, I tell you what, when he gets to the rim like that, he's really hard to stop.
Yeah, he can get up a few notches high, there's no doubt.
And that's how the game is played on the inside. You can play over the top. You've got a great advantage.
I think all three of us agree John Wall, a tremendous all-around player.
Outstanding. Speed was what jumped out at me most when I saw him first at Kentucky. Now he's been able to harness that speed as a pro, and he makes plays that very few can make as a point guard.
He gives you a lot of different looks, doesn't he?
He sure does.
And so it's Washington with it. It's a 5-point game. At the elbow, Gortat. Good D by Thompson. Now Cleveland moving it up. Smith's running. Can't get it to go. Now the Wizards take it the other way. Here's Oubre. And that comes off the assist by John Wall. Oubre's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3. James outside to the wing right side. Back to Love. There's the triple. Oubre pulls it in.
Boy, but he was close, Kevin, to making the defense pay for lackadaisical coverage there.
Yeah, you may not be as lucky next time down if you're the defense. You cannot allow him to get those kinds of looks.
First team foul.
Here's Wall. He dishes it to Oubre. Back to Wall. Passes it to Beal. 6 on the shot clock. And Wall kicks to Gortat. Here's Beal. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
And we've all seen how dominant Bradley Beal can be. The 3rd overall pick in the 2012 draft. He's already had a solid young career, but still plenty of room to grow.
And Wall. Here we go now. And that one is hammered home.
And that is a major league flush right there, my friends.
And in a tight contest like this, Greg, that might be just what they need to get the tide rolling in their direction.
You're exactly right. I mean, so often when a team gets that kind of explosive play out of its backcourt, that can really rally and galvanize the whole squad.
Talking about Bradley Beal's potential, it's not just the shooting, it's also the passing, and you really don't think of him as a passer, but for such a young two-guard, he's extremely unselfish, averaged over 3 assists a game over the past 2 years.
And the true stars of our game feature versatility. And here's a guy that has also tremendous upside as a rebounder. I mean, how about getting 7 boards almost a game the 1 year he was in college? So he understands the importance of impacting other areas. I mean, last season he had his highest steals average of his career, and everything's upside with this young man. The sky's the limit.
Excellent point.
2 shots.
Well, nobody really knew, Greg, what to make of Washington going into last year's playoffs. They came out strong with a big sweep against a pretty good Raptors team.
Yeah, how about taking them down 4 straight? And it was the first time a team has swept an opponent without home court advantage since 2011. Also was the first sweep for the Wizards in franchise history. And how about the bounce pass there being used to perfection?
Wizards trail by 3. And Sessions kicks to Dudley. Pass to Nene. Dudley with it. He's against Fry. Dudley's shot is good.
And in the second round, the Wizards continued to be a tough opponent. I mean, they went up 2-1 on the Hawks, but were unable to keep the series lead. A lot of close, heartbreaking losses for them in that series.
Dellavedova, the pass to Shumpert. He feeds it to Dellavedova to the wing right side. Cleveland needs to get a shot off here. And it's Shumpert penetrating, misses from close range.
That was a good rebound right there, but they haven't been very strong on the glass so far.
Clark, a little disparity there in the rebound numbers, but some of that comes down to how the ball bounces. Let's see if it evens out.
Down low. And he jams it after taking the nice feed on the run.
Timofey Mozgov.
Oh, Maestro, he is so good at making those lead passes, like conducting an orchestra.
Sessions dishes to Nene.
Elevates and powers in the one-hand.
Textbook.
Yeah, and I'm glad, guys, he doesn't go overboard on that one and get a little too fancy.
And that concludes. And a chance now to hear from the Brazilian big man Nene about the development of this Wizards team. With Nene in the mix, that team is indeed capable and talented and can do some very special things.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he's in a supporting role, and when he steps up in a big way, he gives them an X factor.
And the second quarter getting underway. No team gaining an edge so far. What stands out to you from the Cavaliers in this one?
It's all about the depth, really. The bench has been the difference. The bench play really has separated these two teams.
Yeah, it's been a huge advantage for him. That bench has really made a nice contribution.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So the Wizards 5 right now. Markieff Morris is out there with Jared Dudley. Then there's Nene. Then there's Bradley Beal. And it's Sessions in at the one spot. Offensive rebound.
Look at the big fella working on that possession. He knows how to fend guys off and get those rebounds.
Gortat's checked in for Nene. Cleveland also making some changes. Thompson comes in for Channing Frye. And J.R. Smith's subbed in for Matthew Dellavedova. Washington trailing.
You know, Channing Frye signed a 4-year, $32 million contract in 2014. And in the very first leg of that contract, promptly had his worst season in 5 years. In fact, he even lost his starting job along the way.
And now the fast break, Irving.
I don't know that this is the time for that kind of flair. In a close game, the important thing is the 2 points, not the dramatic.
Oh, come on, Clark. He had to go for it, didn't he?
Yeah, but hey, he's an athlete, and I can't fault him for that one, although if he missed it, I might have.
Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game.
Nothing better than a hustle play like that. It gets the whole team amped up, sets the example for everyone.
Now Cleveland moving it up. Smith for 3. Washington with the rebound. Dudley with it. Guarded now by Irving. And Dudley kicks to Morris. Outside for Beal from downtown. That falls. Great assist by Ramon Sessions. And that makes it a tie ball game.
Of all the guys you want to leave open out on the perimeter, he is the absolute last guy on the list. Attention to detail. Know your personnel.
Irving against Beal. Just 5 to shoot. Irving drives in. Gortat with the block. And here's the fast break. And Dudley kicks to Gortat. Smith against Dudley. Morris right side. Sessions with it. Dishes it to Dudley. That puts them in the lead. And the Wizards lead by 2.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
And Clark, it's a strategy that has served them well during the course of this first half.
Tell you, you gotta love his aggressiveness finishing inside like that.
Well, his leaping ability, Clark, gives him a great advantage.
And that's why they look to get him the ball around the rim. It's either a dunk or free throws every time.
And for Jared Dudley, a bit of a resurgence last season. Found a team he liked playing for, played much closer to his career numbers than the year before with the Clippers.
Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, he turned back the clock in almost every category. And I think to your point, a lot of it has to do with the fit. He's on a team in a role that suits his talent. And I think you're going to see him continue to be consistent.
And the Wizards are going with a whole new group out there now. Here's Love. The shot, no good. And it's Washington the other way.
He just hasn't looked right to me. A bit out of sorts, if you will. Something's off with his mechanics, at least as I look at him.
And the dunk by Smith.
Unbelievable what I'm seeing here. Is this the dunk contest?
Hey, this one counts, Clark. Believe me, what confidence to attempt the alley-oop to himself.
He couldn't resist on that. The adrenaline just flowing. One of the more spectacular plays we've seen.
And, you know, going back to Jared Dudley, he helps you in so many different ways. Shoots a lot of threes, yet does so efficiently. He rebounds, he passes the ball. He'll get a little physical, too. He's a valuable vet to have in your locker room.
Clark, a lot of give and take between these sides early.
Kevin, how about 6 lead changes in this half already?
Yeah, and both teams look like they came to play. We should have a good one.
Three-pointer, Dellavedova. It's good, and he makes his first shot of the game.
And back and forth we go. That bucket gives us another lead change.
Too many of those to count. These teams have matched each other shot for shot, play for play. It has been impressive.
The Wizards shooting their third and fourth free throw attempts of the game. Williams is checked in for Matthew Dellavedova. And so Wall nails both of them. Cavaliers have gone 6 of 10 from the floor here in the second quarter. Outside Williams. Kicks it out to Love. Here's Mozgov. Lays it in without an inch of room around him. Mozgov's got 8. And Wall. Here we go now. Oubre. And there's the call by the official. They'll count the basket here following the goaltending call.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
Yeah, it looks like he saw some things out there that need to be adjusted, and he's going to take a break here and talk it over.
Hey, you know, coaches sometimes need a break in the action to rethink and retool a bit. Anytime you're in that situation, it makes sense to use the timeout.
And the first half comes.
Well, guys, I'm here.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey, this has been a good game here after one half. Everybody, welcome back to the halftime show. Ernie Johnson, Shaq, Kenny Smith. A pretty close game for the Wizards throughout the first quarter. They never dug too deep a hole for themselves in the first period, the most they trailed by. And that'll do it for now as we send you back to Kevin Harlan for the start of the second half.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. Look at John Wall. What a contribution so far.
Always been a dynamic scorer, and we saw in that first half the entire repertoire on display.
Yeah, he's a hard man to keep down, and so far they haven't found the answer for him. I don't know if there is an answer for him, quite honestly.
So on the floor for Cleveland, J.R. Smith and LeBron at the 2 and 3. Kevin Love out there with Tristan Thompson. And it's Irving at the point. Well, what a season for Kyrie Irving last year. Huge moments for him. 57-point outburst against San Antonio. That was a new franchise record for the Cavs.
I think a lot of it was finally being able to play with other All-Stars, quite honestly, Kevin. But you can't discount the work Irving put into the offseason to be ready for the regular season.
And for Irving, he did come into last year hot. I mean, he won the MVP in international play while with Team USA.
And that trip coming up empty, missing both.
And for Kyrie, taking home the MVP in a Team USA tourney like that, it's a huge ego boost. I mean, of all the stars on that team, he shined the brightest. And I think that's going to help his confidence for this year.
Gortat with the block.